All right, we're recording. We're live. Yo, what's Gucci, baby? Yo, allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Ryan the Lion. Yeah, boy. My dog's looking at me all crazy. I wish you could see, but I'm not gonna attempt to do that because it's gonna fuck up my setup. But yo, check it out. I wanted to get back on the podcast, and this is it. This is all improvisation, impromptu, what it do. And I just wanted to touch on this subject. It was about a book that I read a while ago. I was gifted. It was gifted to me by a friend of mine, a good friend of mine. And the story goes, I'm pretty sure he bought it at a bookstore, and it was like $4. And he ended up giving it to me. We went to Mendocino, in the forest of Mendocino, and we went camping. I met him up there. He was living in Colorado at the time. We met up there, and he gave me the book, and it was an amazing book, and I'm so glad that he did. It was very impactful, and I'm trying to adjust this, trying to get this equipment right. But so I'm in the books, and this dude Stephen Pressfield that I've been following lately, I've listened to a couple of his audiobooks. He talks about the hero's journey, and he mentioned the book that I was just mentioning about that was given to me. So I gave this book to my cousin Solly after I read it, and then he read it, and he ended up couldn't find it for a little while, and then he ended up finding it. So, like I said, I got into Stephen Pressfield, and Stephen Pressfield talks about the hero's journey. And my point of bringing this up was because a lot of times, so this book is called The Power of Myth, right? And a lot of times we get caught up in the world, in the mundane, and we forget about the magic in the world, right? And so I was following this guy, Stephen Pressfield, and he talks about the hero's journey a lot, and he mentioned this book, and I was watching it just yesterday, right? And I was like, damn, my book, like, fuck, like, I lost it. I could have got it back, but like I said, there's a little backstory to it, had a little sentimental value, and I'm like, man. And I was thinking about it, and I was like, man, Solly, he has to have that book somewhere. And then he called me up later that day at like 7, and he was like, yo, Vinny's in town, come through and chill. So we went over there, chill, drank some beers, and then when I got there, he was like, yo, I got something for you that you forgot, or whatever. I found something for you. And I was like, what? And then he brought me this book out, and I was like, no way. Like, I was just thinking about that book, and I feel like I manifested it, and I feel like I even manifested that whole situation. In a way, I think we all did, because even like last week we got together and we grew up together. We're boys, like me and Solly, like this. And then, you know, Vin, he was always there too, and we grew up boys. We went through a lot of shit together, just growing up, boys becoming men, you know, boys to men. Ooh. No, I'm just kidding. But sorry about that. But last week we got together, and we did, like, it was like a therapy session. It was crazy, and it was like a support group, and I've been wanting that. I feel like I've been needing that, and I think we manifested that, and it's actually been building from there, and that's why I'm actually inspired to be doing this right now, get back on my podcasting, because I fell off for a little while. You know, I don't want to go into the details of that, but I'm back on it. Your boy's back, and we're gonna do a podcast on Thursday. Us three, me, Vinny Boy, and Solly. And yeah, I'm gonna get back on my shit, you know. So I found this little spot in my little office that I got at my house. It's an office a room that I turned into my office. Do various things like my microgreens and shit like that. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about the hero's journey and the power of myth, and how there's so much magic in the world that we forget about it because we get caught up in the mundane of like work, life, blah blah blah. You know, all that mundane shit where we lose the magic. Is you know, life is itself is so mystical and magical, and like we get caught up in the bullshit and we forget about the magic. And this book talks about following your bliss and the songs of the universe. And like Joseph Campbell traveled the world, and he said one common thing amongst all cultures, no matter what, no matter how they're brought up or whatever, um, they had this story of the power of myth of the hero's journey, where you know like so it, he actually influenced not Luke Skywalker, but George Lucas, and to create Star Wars. It was inspired by him, and the hero's journey. And so he they did a this book is actually another thing that I want to talk about, which is very very interesting as well, which was it was part of the magic that I saw, you know, was my cousin brought it to my attention that this book is actually like the original podcast, because this book is like an interview at the Skywalker Ranch, at George Lucas's ranch, with Bill Moyers, the guy that interviews Joseph Campbell. And so they transcribed it into a book. So it's actually a audio, there's audio version out there, but they made it into a book. My point being, yeah, it was like the original podcast. Trip out on that shit, right? Crazy. So that was my magical thing that I feel like manifestation is, I think, a magical thing. And like just synchronicities are magical things. And I think we gotta kind of almost train ourselves to see that, because I think as we grew up, we've been robbed of that by whoever, our parents telling us we gotta grow up. You know, it's like the Peter Pan thing, like just believing in magic, or you know all those Disney stories and shit like that. It's like when you were young, everything's magical, everything's so mystical and magical and crazy and like awesome, and then we get robbed of that. Like, you gotta grow up, you know, we gotta fucking do this, get a job, you know, we gotta leave that other shit behind, the fantasies and the mystical and the imagination and shit. But I urge you all to not fucking give it up. Be on your Peter Pan shit somewhat. Don't be like Peter Pan, like the syndrome where you're like not handling shit, you know, you gotta handle shit. But that's the exact thing. Like there's something inside of us that yearns for that, you know. So like I say just fucking follow your bliss, find out what it is, try to find the adventure, and fucking don't give up on shit like that. Like don't give in to the mundane, because life is short. We're not promised any time here allotted, you know. It's like we could go tomorrow. So like we gotta fucking find the adventure and find the magic in life and fucking pursue that shit to the fullest. Don't fucking stop and give it your all, because that's what life is all about. So, yeah. Boy!